big, scary current or world events can have a huge impact in our lives, not because they actually affect us, but because we're afraid of them. We're afraid of the outcome. We're afraid of what it means. So it's really important to recognize that what's actually happening here is just fear. And fear, as we all know, fear is a prediction of the future. Fear is not something that we have any idea at all if it's going to come to pass or not. Most likely, it won't. So let's dive a little bit more into current events, how to navigate them, and how to be at peace no matter what happens. One of the most popular television shows and radio shows is the news. And if we think about the word news, I love it because the word news is the plural form of the word new. So if you think about it, oh, well, what's new? Oh, I don't know. Well, I've got lots of news. All kinds of news. I love that. Anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about today entirely. Actually, what happens is you're watching the news and some terrible thing happens. Now you probably find out about it on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram. Doesn't matter. It's all popular because we love to tune in to find out how to circumnavigate death. We humans are always trying to avoid death. All animals are. If you think about every bird and every fish and every animal on this planet, their number one thing is to not die. And so they're going to do it by eating food, by drinking water, by avoiding predators. We've still got all that programming as well as these very intelligent minds that are also subject to earth emotions. So why would we care so much about large events? Again, it's because we want to try not to die as a result of them. Instead of the news, I call it the How I Could Die show. We all tune in to find out, oh, there's a hurricane, oh, there's a tornado, oh, there's a fire, oh, a murder, oh, a disease, an invasion from a scary country. All of that just so that we can avoid dying. Well, when we're in that state of mind, what kind of vibrational frequency are we engaged in? We're engaged in a very primitive one. We're engaged in what a bird might do or a fish might do. So we don't need to do that. We can step way farther back. We can be our higher selves and really look at this entire world from a bird's eye view and say, wait a minute, how is this actually going to affect this one being that I am currently experiencing life through? This being that has food, has needs, has hunger, has water needs, has sleep needs, has shelter needs. Will these giant events actually affect us? Very rarely do they. And so we don't have to be in that tiny mindset, scared of everything that might come out of every corner. So what do we do instead? Well, if we can look at it from that higher perspective, then we realize that everything that happens is according to a divine plan. Is it that our latest attacker, our latest scary country who's invading another one, is it that that country, in this case, at the time of this recording, it's Russia, is Russia more powerful than the universe? No. Russia is part of the universe. It's a very small part. It's an infinitesimal part of this entire universe, this giant place with multiple dimensions and all kinds of different things that we, as these 3D beings, we have no idea what makes up all of existence and all of reality. So the fact that we would be worried about one particular country invading another, or the conspiracy behind it all, or whatever you've decided to be scared of, it's a total waste of your time. It's a total waste of your effort. I've heard a great quote, and this might not be exact, but fear is a terrible use of imagination, because fear is a prediction of the future. And if we think about it, how good are we humans at predicting the future? We're actually kind of terrible at it. If we were any good at all, we'd all be Bitcoin billionaires. So unless your spiritual gift is being able to predict the future, then you're just guessing. and so is everybody else. Well, why are we so terrible at predicting the future? It's because we live in the infinite now, and the future is something that we don't have the basic senses to see. We can only see what's in front of us or hear what's behind us. We can't see around corners. We can't see into next week. So what's the best way to circumnavigate death with these limitations? Is you predict every possible outcome. And then, once you've thought of every possible outcome, and you've thought of ways to survive, ways to escape, ways to persevere, all of those cases, then you might finally start to feel safe. You can feel relaxed. Well, this is a pursuit that you'll never get to, because can you possibly think of every possible outcome? Of course not. It's impossible to actually do that. So you're just churning and churning and churning and trying to find a solution that you'll never find all the solutions for. So, how do we look at this instead? We look at it from that higher perspective. We look at it as though it's part of the divine plan. And there's absolutely nothing that we need to do in most cases. However, there are things that you can do, and there are things that you can do to help the universe or society or this particular planet, this particular country, this particular place, and that is to work on yourself. If you could be in a place of peace, even when everything else is chaotic, if you can be in a place of unconditional love, even though you can see all the other emotions like fear and hatred and disgust and impatience and disappointment and all of those things, if you can rise above all of that and be in a place of unconditional love for all of it, then you contribute that energy to society, to the country that you're talking about, the city, the individuals, the planet. So all you really needed to do is find a way to not fall in to that rhetoric hole of worrying about what's going to happen next. Okay, so sounds pretty easy, right? Well, one of the ways that you can feel safe is to recognize what you do have. You can go into gratitude. I am grateful that I have a place to sleep. I am grateful that I have water to drink and food to eat. I'm grateful that I have the basics to survive. And maybe that's all you have, but you can still be grateful for those things. Maybe you aren't grateful because you don't have an ocean view like I do this week. But I'm not going to have it forever. I'm just visiting family. So in that case, it's okay. Just be grateful for what you do have. And then everything is going to work out exactly as it's supposed to, remembering that everything always works out exactly as the divine plan was set. So you can relax a little bit. And then you can ask the question again, who's more powerful? Is it Russia or the universe? Who's more powerful? The evil CEO that you're all worried about, or the universe? Who's more powerful? The next political figure that you don't like, or the universe? It's a joke question. It's so obvious that you don't even have to worry anything about those things that are outside of your control. But let's say you are excited about something. Ooh, I would love to help the homeless, and I would love to be able to make homes for them. Or I would love to help the dolphins and make sure that they have a great life or a great future. Well then, if that's your excitement, then you can start to dive into those things. You can reach out to people and ask to volunteer. You can learn more about doing that kind of conservation work or humanitarian work. Perfect, fantastic. Are you doing it because you're miserable about the state of the world? No, you're doing it because you're excited about it. And if you approach those things with excitement rather than fear or disappointment or anger or frustration, then you're going to bring that frequency to the problem. And that is going to help solve the problem. Some people believe that just by making people aware of the problems, that the problems will be solved. Obviously, that's not true, because everybody knows what all the problems are, but are they fixing them? No, because they decide that the system is too difficult to change or whatever. Instead, dive into the thing that you want to change or that you want to see changed, and then discover that there are many ways that you can contribute to that. So rather than be worrying about whoever Russia is going to invade or whatever disease is going to rip across the world, go ahead and do the things that you can do and are excited to do. And you will help us all create a better society and a better life. So let's say right now that you still don't feel safe, that even though all that I've said here has been helpful, but you still go, well, yeah, sure, but I'm pretty nervous about what's currently going on in the current world events. So let's go ahead and do an activation, just an I am safe activation. All you need to do is close your eyes and take a nice big deep breath. And relax as you exhale. Feel yourself sinking into the chair that you're sitting in, to the bed that you're laying on. And all we're going to do right now is help you feel safe in an unsafe world, or that you've decided is an unsafe world. So just remain breath aware if I'm not speaking, and we'll begin the process of helping you feel safe no matter what happens around you or what happens inside of you. So the way my activations work is I'm going to say breath in. And when I do, you're going to take a nice big deep breath. You're going to hold it at the top. And you're going to wait for me to make an explosive sound, and then you can exhale. It might be a little bit loud, so be warned. And picture yourself in a place of safety. You have everything that you need. Nobody knows that you're there. Nobody can bother you. You can do whatever you want, and you don't ever have to worry about anything ever again. You have all the food, you have all the water, you have the shelter, you have everything. You have the people that you love. There's nothing that you have to do to try to make sure and control your environment. It's already provided to you, because that's truly what's happening every day. Everything you need is constantly provided to you. Breath in. Excellent. Okay, that's all there is to it. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you so much for participating in that activation. It's a pleasure to bring it to you. And if you'd like some more activations, there's another free one off of my website that you can find the link in the description below that will help you so that you're no longer nervous about upcoming events. If you're about to give a speech, or you're about to ask for a raise, or ask someone out on a date, or talk to a family member who's difficult, then you can do this activation right before you do that activity, and it will relieve all the nervousness symptoms to make the process so much easier. It's really a mind-blowing activation, so I highly encourage you to check it out. So thank you so much. I love you unconditionally. And I'll see you in the next video.